NASCAR may be a top stock car racing company, but its stony heart is fast damaging its reputation. With their strict rules, what should be an exciting race is almost turning into a death trap, putting the drivers in a tight fix. Their killer next-gen car caused legendary driver Kurt Busch to suffer concussion at the Pocono Raceway. So if NASCAR doesn't make these changes by 2023, it might just be the end of their era. Number 1. Eliminate the idea of stage race. Some fans and drivers have been bothered about the possibility of NASCAR ending the stage race on road courses because, to them, it's not as ideal as they thought it to be. Stage break racing in NASCAR wasn't a thing until 2017, when NASCAR introduced it to make racing more exciting and fun for the drivers. Additionally, the introduction of the stage race gave worthy NASCAR drivers incentives that were tallied to points at the end of each stage race. Aside from that, they also earned a playoff. While some fans were excited to see drivers test their skills on stage, some debunked the idea of stage racing, saying it could be better. A fan asked during the Teardown podcast if NASCAR would consider eliminating the stage caution race. Gluff, one of the writers, responded that NASCAR has given them a hint about eliminating the stage race. If NASCAR pulls through with this decision, it will make many fans happy because the dynamics of stage racing have changed, and some fans dislike it. Aside from the intense drama they witness that makes them hold their hearts in their mouths, the playoffs and points are not as useful as they ought to be. The winnings on the stage race don't qualify any driver for anything. It's only a way of preparing and getting them excited for the main race ahead. Fans and drivers feel that if NASCAR officials keep to their words and decide, they will definitely begin to rate them high again as a motorsports team that listens to the fans and makes changes to suit their tastes. It will also be a great relief for the drivers participating in it. But this change is already effective because NASCAR has decided that the stage race will end as the 2022 season ends. So, come the 2023 season, NASCAR is to begin on a fresh page without any stage race. We only hope they don't change their mind later. Number 2. Upgrade the next-gen car. After several years of tough and interesting races, NASCAR introduced the next-gen car in 2022. With the car's upgraded features, like a high horsepower and low downforce aerodynamic package, NASCAR believed that it could enhance the performance of a race. Its redesigned chassis also gave room for increased safety. In summary, the major function of the next-gen car was to reduce traffic and improve race. The next-gen car came with a feeling of specialty. According to the fans, using it in the 2022 seasons made the race better than the previous seasons. The drivers, too, were not left out in the excitement. Of course, this was an improvement, and they couldn't wait to race without fear of crashing. During the 2022 Cup Series, Ross Chastain took an aggressive lead toward the finishing line, which may have been considered the best win for the year. But the excitement didn't last long because the cars on other tracks had difficulty passing the next-gen car. However, things went south when the drivers speculated that the NASCAR next-gen car was taking them back to their unsafe race in 2021 and other years. The speculation began when rumors of the death of the infamous dummy used for the crash test filled the air. Although these rumors weren't true, they raised a huge concern about the safety of the next-gen car in the driver's mind and left them in doubt. After the crash, Joey Logano, the driver affected by the next-gen cars, said that the next-gen cars are very solid. Once you hit, it goes hard on you. Even the sport veterans also felt that the hit from the car had a big impact, especially on the drivers. Kevin Harvick, one of the drivers that also had a hit, had this to say on the impact of the crashes. "Every time I have a hit, I experience more pain than any hit I've ever had in any other cars. The hit is really painful. Imagine hitting a concrete wall, then compare it to how you'll feel when you crash with a next-gen car." This statement alone explains the painful impact the next-gen car had on NASCAR drivers. Since NASCAR drivers experienced the first-hand crash of this car, they have sounded the upgrade of the next-gen car more and more into NASCAR's ears. The idea of upgrading the next-gen car is one of the biggest on the list and the top priority. There's no way around it because the driver's safety is the most important before anything else is considered. Due to the increasing complaints about the next-gen cars, NASCAR has decided to fix the issue. But while they work towards fixing it, we hope the drivers do not suffer any more concussions or serious injuries. Also, we hope that NASCAR will keep to its word. At least, that would make a good change. Number 3. Adjust the playoff system. Fans and drivers have complained bitterly about the NASCAR playoff system. As the life of the race drives up the entertainment value, the playoff system needs an improvement, and it wouldn't make sense if NASCAR officials paid deaf ears to the complaints about it. NASCAR is different from other sports. We're a voice that will be reminding the drivers every single time of the race kickoff time and how important it is for them to be punctual. But then, some drivers may experience a delay on their way to the track, some of which may not be their fault. It is easy to say that the driver must show up at the right time, but NASCAR needs to adjust the system to something fair. The drivers are human and they deserve fair treatment. NASCAR may have had a fantastic race format with the chase. In this 10-race stretch, consistency joined hand with victory without a break. It was clear that many NASCAR drivers would win races yearly because the playoff system created a fun and fair environment. Even though NASCAR had fun with the chase, people argued that the race time was too long, which mounted undue pressure on the drivers. If NASCAR can return to the rotating format, it will make sense. But if officials ignore fixing the playoff system, the value of the NASCAR Cup Championship will reduce. For instance, people showed displeasure when the best round-off players, Bell and Byron, were eliminated due to the unfair playoff rules. So there's a need for NASCAR to adjust the playoff system and make it fair for the drivers or suffer the risk of losing the championship value. Number 4, adjust practice time and qualifying format. When it comes to the practice time and the format for qualification, NASCAR rules are very strict. First, the practice time is short, and second, to qualify is almost like choking the life out of the driver's throat because they need to struggle really hard. NASCAR drivers think extending the practice time will make sense because it will give them ample opportunity to learn more about the next-gen car. Adjusting the practice session from 20 to 50 minutes per group would be a good idea. It would be better if NASCAR divided the practice time into two, like each group will have 20 minutes to practice twice. Or, if NASCAR officials feel that's too much leniency, then they should extend the practice session for the weekend. NASCAR drivers and fans are paranoid because other motorsport companies, like Formula One and IndyCar Series, have more than one practice session for their drivers. If those two, also a top motorsports company, could have a longer practice time, then NASCAR does not have any excuse not to extend theirs. Concerning the qualifying time, NASCAR needs to do better by setting a system that makes everything fair in place. People suggested making each group have up to 8 drivers on standby throughout the entire race season till the 12th round. A driver could become weak at any point, and this was just the only way to reduce the burden on their end. One big turnoff about NASCAR is that the officials hardly listen to their drivers or the people who love the sport. They love to do it their way, not minding the challenges or problems it is causing their drivers. Some fans have even alleged that NASCAR officials have a stony heart because, according to them, all drivers should always be prepared for the worst both on and off track. Even if you're the best driver and you get hurt, the race will continue, without you, of course. With all these attacks on NASCAR and its strict racing rules and regulations, NASCAR officials may be putting the company at a big risk if they don't take a turn to adjust and make the sport more favorable for the drivers and fans at large. For fans worldwide to say that the value of the NASCAR Championship Series will likely go down the drain in the 2023 season if the officials do not act fast shows that they're angry. To save their face, NASCAR officials should make a positive turn and put the drivers' interests first.